Hi, I'm Yuka Sato. In Cheer Up this time, I'll be talking with former professional rugby player Ayumu Goromaru, who retired from the sport last year and is carving out a new career.
Ayumu Goromaru is a former professional rugby player who is also on the Japanese national team at the Rugby World Cup. He continues to support the sport through his involvement in club management.
I'd like to first ask you about your current work.
My official title is the CRO of a team called the Shizuoka Blue Revs, the club relations officer. My role is to bring together and coordinate among the stakeholders, the club, our fans, sponsors, and the local community. In my day-to-day duties, I'm also part of the ticket marketing team, so I do ticket planning and sales as well.
You enrolled at Waseda University's graduate school this year. What was your reason for that?
The biggest reason was that I retired from the sport. Until then, I could express myself through playing and my own value kept growing. But once you retire and become a working professional, you can no longer make a statement through playing rugby. Even so, when I thought about how to communicate the wonderful experiences I had until now, not just in terms of feelings, but properly in words, I felt I needed to properly study again in an academic setting. I've met many people in the sport of rugby, but from now on, I want to meet people in various fields beyond rugby and across the world of sports, and slowly change my own values. And the very first thing that came to my mind was grad school.
I want to ask you about your past. How did you get into rugby in the first place?
Both my mother and father were huge fans of rugby. That's the only reason. So I started when I was 3 years old. I have two older brothers, one a year older and the other 5 years older. All three of us joined a rugby school, and that was the very beginning.
Goromaru started playing rugby when he was 3 years old and excelled at the sport in high school and at university. After graduating, he joined Yamaha Motor Jubilo, based in Shizuoka Prefecture.
You left school and joined the Yamaha motor team. Why Yamaha?
At university, I was on a team that only really lost 2 games, and in my 4 years, we won the championship 3 times. I played on a truly fabulous team. But when I thought about my own future, I felt strongly that I needed to join a team that never became champions and grow together with it. I initially joined the team as a professional player, but due to the financial crisis in 2008, the team was no longer able to keep professional players, and they cut all professional contracts. The choice I had was either to stay on the team as a company employee or transfer to another team as a professional player. We were given these 2 choices, but my only real choice was to stay at Yamaha Motor. That's because I chose Yamaha Motor when I was still at university, not because someone recommended it to me, but of my own free will. I made the decision to join a team that had never been champions and win the championship with my mates. That was my biggest goal, and I was determined not to move to another team until I achieved that. In February of 2015, which was the World Cup year, Yamaha Motor became champions for the first time, and I was really happy. We even had people come from Shizuoka to Tokyo on nearly 50 chartered buses. The picture we took at that time is a true treasure for me, even more than going to the World Cup. People from Shizuoka were packed into the back stand, and that's when the picture was taken. For me, it's something I will treasure for the rest of my life.
And in 2015, the Rugby World Cup was held. There was a nationwide rugby boom, and you were at the center of that. What are your thoughts looking back?
For the 2015 World Cup, the members of the team started training from 2012. At the time, national team members weren't seen as stars, and no one was starting to play rugby because they looked up to us. There weren't any kids who dreamed of becoming national team members. We wanted to make the national team a role model, and that's how we started in 2012. 2015 was when rugby truly got the attention of people in Japan, and I was amazed when we got back to the country. I think it's fantastic that we achieved what we set out to achieve, and national team members had earned a status as role models.
Many players choose to become coaches as a second career. So why did you decide to go into the business and operation side of the sport?
I retired in the first year after rugby became a professional sport, and when I thought about my second career, a big factor for me was that I wanted to merge the big step that the rugby world was taking with my first step in my second career.
And what do you want to do as the CRO going forward?
Our city of Shizuoka is different from Tokyo in that our population is relatively small, and Shizuoka has more of a soccer culture. I think we have many disadvantages, but even with those disadvantages, if we can properly succeed, I believe the future of rugby will become brighter. So, I want to take on all kinds of challenges and give the rugby world a new wind.
Many of our viewers are in Asia, and I want to ask you if you are thinking of an international strategy.
I think the status of rugby in Asia still has much room to grow. Right now, there are places in Asia like Singapore and Hong Kong as well where rugby is quite big, but the sport isn't fully developed yet. Japan is a central player in the sport at the moment. So I'm hoping that the national team can tour across Asia and enhance the reputation of rugby.
This time, we cheered on Ayumu Goromaru, who took Japanese rugby to new heights and is now looking to make his mark in club operations and promotion of his beloved sport.